Hey, Coach William Joseph here. Hey, wanted to come on tonight for a few minutes, talk about abuse, talk about toxicity in relationships. It's it's sad. I do work with a lot of fathers, going and trying to find their father's rights, trying to get more time with their children. Um, no, the men that I work with are fit and willing parents. Um, there's a difference between being alienated from children and being estranged from children. And so, if there has been abuse and it's legit, and or the fathers, mothers don't want to be in their children's life, then they're basically, through their abuse or through their behavior, or through their decision, um, bad decisions, if you ask me. Um, you're either alienated from your children or you're estranged from your children. If you are abusive and or you don't want to be a part of their lives, that's estranged. I don't represent individuals that are estranged. I represent individuals. I help individuals that are fit. In other words, there's no abuse in the past, or if there had been, it has been taken care of through education and through therapy, through help, as the court sees fit. And I see individuals, I help individuals, excuse me, that are willing, and that's huge. More than you know, there are more dads out there than you know that are willing as well as fit to be a part of their kids' lives. And we all have different circumstances, but in the end, whether they're being alienated, whether they're going through the battle, whether there's, I don't know, it's tough because I know this isn't gender biased. It's definitely gender neutral. There is abuse coming from both males and females, moms and dads, husbands and wives. We just honestly we hear more about it when it is the mother complaining about the father, or the wife complaining about the husband. It's I mean, I'm a man. It's much more difficult for men to come to the table and say, "Hey, yeah, I'm abused. I'm being abused by my wife." All of a sudden, our minds jump to the idea of physical. But really, when it comes to abuse, when it comes to psychological and emotional abuse, that's the women's warfare. That's how the women fight. That's how the women abuse men. I'm not saying everyone, and I'm not saying that's just 100% women that do the psychologically and emotionally abusive emotional abuse. Um, but it's clear that it is more on that side than it is on the men, and it's clear that if there's going to be physical abuse, it's more apt to come from a male. Um, but when it comes to reporting abuse, it is much more often reported by a woman and not a man. And so when we go and look at these stats, about uh, 88% of abuse is coming from men. I mean, you look at the world, you look at the nation, as far as the help out there for the abused woman and the abused single mom with children. Um, there's no help out there for men until now. There are some groups out there that I'm a part of. DSD with Dwayne, DSD divorce, for divorced dads surviving the divorce. Yeah, DSD, um, with Dwayne. He's fantastic. We got Eric Carroll over there with Dad Talk. We've got quite a few other dads out there. Not quite a few. There are dads out there that are really helping other dads get through these type of things. So long as they reach out, it's tough for men to reach out. And so back to this abuse thing, men and women. I hear a lot about this stigma, um, that this idea that well, let's just put it this way: we choose to live in this narrative. So we create a narrative and typically that's the way we live. I like the idea of your perception is your reality. It isn't mine. And so backing up a little bit, if I were to say my reception is my reality, that would be true. Um, your perception is your reality, not necessarily mine. So what works for you may or may not work for me. We see things, we see the world differently, and that's okay. That's been cast. What is that? Catastrophized. It has been catastrophized. The idea of, oh my gosh, if I see it one way and you see it another way, then that must mean that I'm right and you're wrong, or you're good and I'm bad. That's the way our society is, and that just isn't the case. We're all individuals. We're all different. We all walk in our shoes. We all walk our different paths. And the bottom line is what what, what works for one may or may not work for another. If you see it one way and I see it another way, it should be okay. It doesn't make one of us good, one of us bad, one of us right, one of us wrong. It makes us different. And that really is okay. Again, stepping back into this idea of abuse. You can't go through life with this victim mentality. You can't. Oh my gosh! And I went through this a group today, going back and forth with women, concerned because one lady addresses the fact that, hey, there are a lot of men out here that are targeted, and they don't see their children. It's not their fault. It's the allegations of the mom that come in and tear these men down. Um, they might end up reacting angry, but angry isn't toxic. They might be acting disappointed and hurt and frustrated, and that's what it really is. If if you if you bite a dog, the dog's gonna bite back. If you're gonna corner a dog, they're gonna get upset. If you corner a man, that's to be hurt, to be angry. Man's not gonna tell you that you're angry necessarily. They're gonna show you that they're angry through, or they're gonna show you that they're hurt through their anger, through their frustrations. That's how we do. Like women, we want to you want to find that safety. You want to find that safety wall. You want to run behind it. You want to feel it's tough, but if you choose to live in a victim mentality and you see something not going your way, that's not abuse. If you see someone angry at you because of the decisions and the choices you make, that isn't abuse. Listen, my son's mother did some awful things to me. There are things that she's done that I cannot, well, and I cannot get back. She cannot give him back. And that's just it is the way it is. Her allegations of abuse were just, wow. I think it's called gaslighting, because for 10 weeks, I went and saw therapy. I went and got therapy, and I'd asked, said, counselor, friend, I have 10 weeks with you, and I need you not to beat around the bush. I need you to really look into my situation, and if there's something I need to change, tell me what I need to change, or tell me what it is so that I can change it. I'm okay with that. I just don't know what it was. 8 years later, I still don't know what it was. I know that there's nothing more I can own, or I can hold myself accountable for, because I've done that. I've said my apologies, whether it was mine to say or not. I've tried to clear the air. I've done everything I possibly can, but those goal lines keep on moving. And so, do moms make false allegations in front of the court, family court, to uh, to have a better stand in the court, when it comes to um, rights, when it comes to custody of children? Absolutely does. Absolutely. 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 Don't for a minute think twice that doesn't happen. Absolutely. Are there men that abuse their wives or their significant others, their kids, to the point where they need restraining orders or protection orders? Absolutely. Absolutely there is. And but this isn't necessarily about that. What this is about is call a spade a spade. If you're getting abused, it is absolutely your your uh, your job to get yourself safe, to get your kids safe, get away from the abuse. Absolutely, it does. Absolutely. And for those individuals that are, oh my gosh, yes, I'd be the first one to help you out of a situation like that. You know what's messing that up? What's messing the whole situation up with the courts? Again, I can't say the whole thing. I think that there are parts of our society that add to the frustrations of the family court, add to the frustrations of what happens over there. It's a bigger picture than we think. But there are a lot of women out there that think that the courts aren't protecting them and their children when they come to the court and ask for that help, ask for that protection. And they blame it on the court, or they blame it on the fathers, because when they can't get their protection. And it just feels like, that I can see myself in that point of view. A woman's point of view is like, hey, I go over here, try to get a restraining order, I try to get a protection order, I try to get protection for myself and for my children, and the court won't grant that. And so now I've got to hide from so and so and this and that. And I think I think that's a lot of reality for a lot of women, and it hurts. It hurts me to know that. That being said, I know that there are women out there that go to the courts, make frivolous allegations that are absolutely false, that there's absolutely no truth to it. And it's these women that are screwing it up for you women that are abused. It's making it more difficult, more difficult, and more difficult for a judge to make a call on what is and what isn't abuse, who is and who isn't being abused, who is and who does and who doesn't need the protection of the court. And the fallout is you're looking in the wrong place. Women, if you need that protection from the court, you need to go talk to those the individuals over there that are abusing the system for a selfish purpose, abusing the system so that they can get their way when it comes to child custody. That's the better place to look. It really, really, really is. And so, and men are guilty of it too. Men, we have to stop looking at the woman as the problem. They could be a big part of it, sure, but there are ways to take your control back. There are ways to be able to control yourself. Look inside and see the answer, not only if she would change, only if she did this, only if she did that. I know because I've done that for years. It was only until I was able to own my behavior, own my attitude, own my choices, that I was able to take back my power, take back my energy, take back my choices to receive better, to respond better, to be better, to stand up and walk instead of sit in my defeat. And today, through the experiences, through the purpose I gave those experiences, that trial and those tribulations, I am a man that moved myself through it. Absolutely. Moved myself through some pretty dark crap. And I'm here to tell you that it's not easy, but it's possible. You can do it. Now, I still have my weak days. I still have my days where I question what the heck's going on and whether or not I can continue doing it. But when I'm able to address situations, I'm able to respond with integrity and with honor myself. It gives me strength. It gives me strength, and know that I've come this far, and I've come through this, and I've come through that, and I'm in a situation where I'm able to help other individuals do the same thing. And so I find a lot of joy. I find a lot of happiness using my story, using what I've learned, using my empathy for the individuals that I work with, and help them create tools within themselves to help them get to from where they are currently to where they want to be. As a coach, that's what we do. We answer the how. We answer the how do I get from where I am to where I want to be? How do I go from here to where I want to get what I want? How do I let go of this? How do I let go of that which no longer serves you? How do I let go of those things and those people that no longer add value to my life? And what are the blessings from being able to do that? You want to move forward through your struggle, through your trial, through your plight? I'd recommend letting go of that which no longer serves you, and letting go of that narrative, that negative narrative that you choose to live in. Because without letting go of all that, you're not going to embrace what you have. You're going to be so stuck in what you don't have. You're going to be stuck in what he or she did to you, and it's absolutely up to you. But you can't sit in misery and expect to move through it. Anyway, I learned that the hard way. Abuse, y'all. You have the right to your opinion. You have the right to your perception. You really absolutely do. And God forbid someone's out there blatantly lying and destroying people's lives out of hate. That's just freaking pure evil. I have to believe that my son's mother, through all that she did, she talked herself into. She justified, I think, everything that she did, to the point where a few years later we were talking a little bit about fighting about it, and she was like, "Gosh, you know what? I believe I took care of you, me. I did things right. I wouldn't have done anything differently. No, I'm not. I don't feel bad about the way I did what I did. No, It's the fact that she didn't feel any remorse. At that point in my life, that really crushed me, man. I'm thinking, I'm hanging on here. I'm not moving forward because I'm going to show you that your perception is absolutely wrong. It's far from reality. Far from reality. And there's consequence for that. It's like driving drunk. I can be driving drunk and get pulled over, and I look at the officer and hey, she asks, "Hey, do you know why I pulled you over?" And I says, "Nope, sure don't." "How much have you been drinking?" So I've had a few drinks, ma'am, but or officer, but I'm fine. I feel fine. I perceive myself to be okay to drive. Okay, will you be willing to take some tests? Sure, yeah, I'm fine. Failed the sobriety test, and then blew twice over my limit, my drinking and driving limit. Get arrested. You think I'm going to go to the court and tell the judge, Your Honor, I perceived myself to be fine. I was fine. And I can just hear the judge say, you know, coach, you have the right to your opinion, you have the right to your perception, but that does not excuse you from the consequences of the reality. The reality of it is whether you felt fine to drive or not, you were not. And according to the laws of this country, you were driving under the influence. And so therefore, you're found guilty and you've got to pay the consequence. So your perception does not get you out of the consequences. If you are abused, get help. If you're throwing around abuse, if you're alleging abuse so that you can get your way in family court, if you are taking what isn't yours, meaning if you have a child and you need to be adults, you're adults enough to have a child, you might want to be adult enough to learn how to co-parent and to allow relationship with the other parent. You don't use abuse or allegations of abuse so that you can get what you want in court. You, mother or father, are no more important to that child's life, in that child's life, than the other parent. You're not important enough. You're not more important. If you are taking time away from the other parent, shame on you. Shame on you. Anyway, that's what I've got for you today. We will catch up with you again. Hey, you know what? We are going to roll out a bunch of different stuff. We are excited about this EOW Dad and what we have to share. We're going to have a lot of guest speakers on, and we're just going to rock at this. We're going to kill this thing. So, hey, hang in there. We will chat with you guys soon. I appreciate you guys showing up. All right. I'll leave you with this. We can do hard things. We can do hard things. The things in life that are awesome and truly of value are the things that don't come easy.